So hey everyone, I'm here with Ryan and Cassie, and today we're just going to discuss how the Virginia media got suckered and how this is an ethical dilemma. So to start off, competition really does drive the media each and every day. And as everyone knows, it's always a challenge for one media outlet to outrace the next to post something on the news to get out to the TV audience.
In Virginia Beach in Virginia, 3 papers were posted on telephone poles threatening to burn and to kill. And this coming Labor Day, actually. Well, last year, the Virginia Beach experienced something similar. A mob of black students had bricks and bottles and injured police officers and damaged the property. So where is the line crossed when it's just explaining to inform people or doing it just to cause an uproar?
So this year the flyers that were in New Jersey seemed to be simply just a mean hoax, leading people away from the Virginia Beach. And journalists and the reporters actually had the copies of the flyers in their hands way before anything ever happened, actually 2 weeks before. So after realizing that the story could possibly be stolen by competitors, this is where all the ethics of everyone, the reporters and the journalists, were just thrown out the window.
Yeah. So the official referred it to as, if someone would yell fire in a crowded room, yes, it's going to draw attention, but really, what good comes to it? On one side of the story, we can understand, yes, it may be ethical in the sense that you do want to inform your readers, you do want to inform the public on what's going on, but since it's still an ongoing investigation, there is nothing to hold it to be true, and because of that, it is unethical.
So this is where we really have our real problem here with 2 individuals involved in this situation by the name of J.S. Mitchell, who was a news director for a local news channel in the area, and Dennis Hardig, who was an editor for one of the papers, the Virginia Pilot. And Hardig, at first, along with the other news stations, declined to even run the story because there had been false bomb threats that occurred previously that ended up being not true at all. So he just thought, it's another one of those situations. But then, when Mitchell, the news director of the local news station, learned that the police were taking the handbills seriously enough to investigate the situation, he decided his viewers should then know. But right before the story went live, he gave in to the mayor's plea to just hold off the entire story. So then, the news of the situation, though, within the next 24 hours spread quickly through everyone, all the various news outlets, Hardig's news outlet, everyone else. So before the 6 o'clock news even came on, everyone already knew about this.
And then Hardig even explained, well, since my followers know about it, why shouldn't everyone else know about it?
So that's just kind of unethical. You just have to use common sense at times.
So back to the initial thoughts, where yes, we do want the public to be aware. It's very Judeo-Christian-like because everyone is equal. But then since there's no proof and there's no evidence, how can it be true? And that's exactly what Kant says. In the situation of lying and killing, it's unethical. No questions asked. And because there's no proof, there's no truth. And it must be lying.
So for 2 more schools of thought, for the first one we have utilitarianism, which the news outlets may have thought that the end would justify the means. But in fact, the tables were turned on them when they got the news out so hastily and so unprofessionally that it just turned out to be big turmoil, and none of it was correct, and none of it actually ended up happening. So this just wasn't good for the news outlets, and it ruined their reputation to a point. So the other one we chose was egalitarianism, and it's where you should approach each situation like you have a veil of ignorance. And so you approach it with a blank slate. Just because the students attacked the officers last year and they may have ruined millions of dollars of property does not mean that it's going to happen each year or year to year. So you just have to approach each situation like this.
Now, how do we feel about this? Well, originally I thought, who wouldn't want to know what's going on in their town? Like, who wouldn't want to know what's going on if there's a threat? But then after consulting with Ryan, we kind of discussed, well, he thought there was no truth. And then we came to a consensus, yes, this was unethical because there were no truth. There was no fact.
So basically, just along with what Cassie just said, if there is no truth, there is nothing to be said. If there is no truth, nothing should be printed or nothing should be broadcasted on television. You need truth to have quality of what you're producing.
If it was up to us, we wouldn't run the story yet. It's a good story, but we need the facts. Once the officers have more information, then it's going to be credible, and we can run it, and it will be truthful. It's very hard as an editor to try to figure out where the line is between informing the public and stirring up the public. And because not all the facts were figured out, it caused more of an uproar than it would have been if they wouldn't have published it at all. So if it was up to us, we would have waited for the facts.
So we feel as a group that the decision would not only help ourselves by building credibility for our company, but also would help the citizens of the community because the facts were given rather than the false accounts of the other various occurrences. We feel the only way that this could hinder the community maybe is if the situation occurred or even escalated before we ran the story, but we feel that we would have had enough facts by that point to have run the story before all this turmoil even existed.
So hopefully the class agrees with us on the decision that Ryan and I made on this issue.
So if it isn't true, don't run the story. Thank you.